This is a tricky subject because it's not proven or really disproven. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, my name is Nicole, and I just recently released some new crystal pendulums for the first time in my jewelry shop online, so I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to make a video, kind of like a beginner's guide to crystal pendulums, the history, my own personal experience, and all of that. So just a little disclaimer before you all come at me for like talking about a pseudoscience parapsychology type of subject. I'm gonna give a little background. So this technique has been used throughout ancient times up until today. It's been used to douse for water, natural resources, a method for divination, seeing what's good for your body or not in terms of a health standard, and different tools can be used as well, such as wooden sticks, a weighted object tied to a string or a chain, which is obviously the crystal pendulum dowsing we're going to be mainly focusing on today, and other various methods. It's even been used up until modern times in law enforcement. In the Vietnam War, apparently they trained some of the soldiers to use dowsing as a way to detect landmines. And Albert Einstein himself said this, and I quote, "I know very well that many scientists consider dowsing as they do astrology, a type of ancient superstition. According to my conviction, this is unjustified. The dowsing rod is a simple instrument which shows the uncanny reaction of the human nervous system to certain factors which are unknown to us at this time." Albert Einstein had an open mind. I think we all can too. So, obviously there are reasons why so much has been disproven that ancient cultures used to believe. Clearly they disproved that all the planets revolve around Earth, and if you kept on sailing in the sea, you would just fall off the face of the Earth completely. They used to bloodlet, they thought that was somehow good. I don't know. So I get that there are some really outrageous things that our ancestors used to believe and practice, but in the same way, I really think there are outrageous things that we do today. Just look at us, we're robots. Nothing about the modern life really resonates with me, and I feel more at home with more of the ancient traditions, and I think that if we had a healthy mix of the two, we would really thrive as a society. I think we've forgotten a lot of the good that our ancestors were in tune with. Whether or not science will ever prove or disprove for certain, these practices just help me and my daily life personally. So it's not for everyone. So I'm going to preface how it works, which again, I'm no authority to speak on this. I'm just saying what my personal perspective is on how it works, because we don't really know. I'm hugely into Carl Jung and his teachings about the subconscious mind, tapping into it, and how there's just so much we don't know about it. I like to think of the crystal pendulum as a way to tap into the subconscious. So a lot of people will, hold this crystal up and they'll ask it questions. I don't think the crystal that knows these answers. I don't think it's we're praying to this big crystal orb in the sky. I literally think the answers are within ourselves. And I think our conscious mind is too focused on the present and all the other, BS to really be able to tap into the subconscious. But that's where so much of our truth and our reality lies. And so I think it's just a tool or a guideline to get us there. Funny enough, I will literally just use the crystal pendulum to be oh, what did I do with this item? Or oh, what was I supposed to do with this? What should I do in this situation? Is this good for me right now? Just to infer to myself what I already know. But it really does put you in a meditative state where I think it can silence the conscious mind and get you into the subconscious. That's kind of how I view it. Everyone views it differently. I do it in a very beginner way. I usually will ask a yes or no question to myself. A lot of people will go way beyond that. There's different graphs you can use, and then you can put the crystal over it and see where it swings to. So because I use it in a way of just to ask myself questions I already know, I'm gonna give you a really ridiculous example, and I'm sorry, this is going to be a bumpy ADHD story, so just try to stick with me here.
From as long as I can remember, I have been utterly obsessed with Anastasia Romanoff, and I definitely blame the super underrated 90s animated movie, Anastasia. I have probably watched that movie 1,000 times. I know every word to all the lyrics of the songs. I ended up becoming obsessed with Anastasia Romanoff, her true history, the history of the Romanoff family, what happened to them, all of the people who pretended like they were her even after the family was massacred. Anna Anderson, I wrote multiple papers on this in high school. Like, I watched all of the other movies depicting her life in a historical way. I'm telling you, like, obsession does not cut it.
Obsession does not cut it.
I don't know why. I cannot explain it. It's been a lifelong passion. So a few years ago, when I was given tickets to Anastasia on Broadway, I literally lost my mind. Like, my whole life was completely made. And years prior, I had been given a replica necklace that Grandmama gives Anastasia in the animated movie. And I thought, oh my god, this is what it's all been leading up to, me to be able to wear this necklace at the Broadway show. But guess what? I couldn't find the necklace. I searched for weeks. I tore my place apart. I could not find this necklace anywhere. I was at my wit's end. And finally I decided to consult the Pendulum. Here's a reenactment of it.
I'm so sorry to bother you. I know you were sleeping. But I must know, is the Anastasia necklace in the apartment? Yes? This gives me hope. Wait, I must focus. Is the Anastasia necklace in the closet? Yes?
Is the Anastasia necklace hanging up with all my other jewelry where it should be, even though this is 2017 me and I haven't watched the home edit yet and I don't know how to be organized? Big surprise there.
That just leaves one option. Is the Anastasia necklace in my suitcase? What the f***? Oh my god! Yes, let this be a sign. Let this road be mine. Let it lead me to my past and bring me home at last. So I found the necklace. It's pretty cool. Okay. So I was able to go to the Broadway show, wear my Anastasia necklace. I cried the whole time, and at the end I got to meet the actress who played Anastasia herself, the beautiful, wonderful Christy Altamere, and we got a picture of us twinning with our matching necklaces. So if it hadn't been for that crystal pendulum, I never would have had that moment. I will literally be on my deathbed surrounded by children who will not be mine because I don't plan on having children. That's a whole other thing. And I will be saying, look, to these children that I don't know, look at this photo of me with Anastasia and our matching necklaces. That's the legacy I want to leave behind, you know? Oh, okay. I got a little emotional there. Anyway, yeah, so that's how the crystal pendulum has helped me. Obviously, I use it for way more serious purposes. Without further ado, I will now actually show you what this whole video is about, which is how to use a crystal pendulum for beginners. So here we are with one of the crystals that I have hand created. I start by asking, what is your yes, what is your no? Because obviously you need to know which way it's going to move. Usually it's going to move in a circular motion or a back and forth motion. Usually I would be doing this closing my eyes and saying this silently in my head because it's hard to like keep still and talk, which brings me to also put your elbow somewhere steady. That way, you know, you're not like wobbling around and it affects the answer. The first question I'm gonna ask it, but I'm gonna ask it in my head because I want this to be like as authentic as I usually do it, you know? So I'm gonna ask, what is your yes, okay? Okay, so it's moving in a circular motion. So now I'm gonna ask, what is your no? So I hope you can see that it is moving back and forth instead of circular. Okay, now I'm going to ask, do you want to be a crystal pendulum? I really hope it wants to be. I guess we'll see. I hope you want to be. You don't understand. I treat these crystals like I would like a pet, okay? I know I'm clinical, like I know I understand that, but like, whatever. These are my babies. I like have to drill into them and be like, I'm gonna turn you into something. Here you go. Okay. Okay, we got a pretty resounding yes there, I would say. That makes me happy. Okay, so let's do something obvious that actually can be like tested and proven. So, is the name of my YouTube channel Conjure Jewelry? Okay. Do I have 1 million subscribers? Okay. Geez, it's like really enthusiastic about like making sure that I know I don't have. Okay, so that's like a little example. That's how you do it. This is just a simple way to ask the yes or no questions. Again, a lot of people will have like a whole graph. I have not graduated to that level yet, which is why I thought it'd be perfect to do a little beginner video. Regardless if it works or not, it's clearly meditative. It's having you take a moment and let your subconscious take over. And I think anyone could benefit from that. In closing, you can find this exact one and some of these back here online on my Etsy shop for sale. So these are ethically and sustainably sourced crystals. Unfortunately, I think a lot of crystal pendulums that people will get online or in a shop are probably not ethically sourced. That's why I switched over my business in the first place. I have a whole video on this. You can check it out. It's called The Truth Behind the Healing Crystal Industry, which explains more. If you're gonna be using something to do this kind of work or like this inner work or subconscious work or whatever, even if you're using it for divination, I think it's really important, again, if we're speaking hypothetically with energy and stuff, for it to be carrying a higher frequency. And depending on what happened to it and how it was procured, it really might not have a good energy to it. I think it's important to have sustainable and ethical crystals, because that's, after all, the whole point of like the healing crystal industry and like metaphysical industry. And the irony is that most of the time it wasn't done in a way that is ethical for our environment or other people. So if something like that interests you, I highly recommend checking out my Etsy shop. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
In an effort to keep the content of Conjure Jewelry as original and homegrown as possible, some of my amazing artist friends lent their talents on this endeavor. The logo was hand-drawn by a visual artist. Most of the background music you will hear in these videos was written and recorded by musicians, and all of these artists' links are in the description, so please check them out. Thank you so much for watching.